All right, let's get to our first guest. Certainly a great performance in Daytona and a very, very strong rookie year so far in Supercross. Stanger boy, Haiden Deegan, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, guys? I'm just chilling.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Man, that getting a podium at Daytona, like getting a podium anywhere is awesome, Haiden, but getting it at Daytona, that had been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a gnarly track. You know, it was no easy track, and I really just felt good on the track all day. So it was kind of my time to shine, and I didn't get the greatest start in the main, but I knew my times were good. I could ride that track well, and that if I put it all together, it was going to go well.
702-586-PULP. You got a question for Haiden Deegan. Give us a call. Well, hold on a second, though, Haiden. So you qualified 8th, though. Qualified 8th.
Yeah.
Was that – you said you felt really good and all that. So were you like, whatever, who cares? You found something or –
No, yeah. Qualifying didn't go the greatest, like, time-wise, but
Mm-hmm.
I felt good on the track. It was a track where I could, like, bring my intensity. I couldn't really put together one solid lap in qualifying, which has kind of been my problem a little bit in qualifying, but I could put, I felt good on the track. And in the heat race, I ran some of the fastest times in general. So, like, it was, like, after the heat race, it was kind of like you can podium tonight.
Right. Did you do the RC amateur race there ever?
Yeah, I did it on a 50.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, so that didn't help you at all in terms of coming to Daytona. Like,
no, not at all.
Right.
Hey, so I was just Alex right here. I was curious on in your qualifying, what do you like? What's your plan sort of going into that? Are you like more of a one lap guy? I think that you do like you just sort of use it as like a moto to get sort of more comfortable on the track. Do you not really stress about the lap time as much more, or do you feel more like you want to just feel more comfortable on the track?
Yeah, my main goal this year was to learn. So when I do those qualifying sessions or even the, free practice, it's just go out there and ride, like just keep logging laps. I mean, when you're doing those qualifying laps, you go to like lay down a heater and you hold your breath. So you would kind of want to take a little like rest lap to get try to lay down another heater. But my goal really is just to log laps and just the whole qualifying time, just ride how a heat race would be, and that's kind of been my goal so far.
That's sort of what I noticed at Dallas, right? He was one of the guys who was like constantly motoing, I felt like, and he wasn't really rolling around the track like some of the other guys.
Right. Well, don't worry about holding your breath. A-Ray holds his breath the whole race and just prays for it. So, that's all. Haiden, were you – so obviously, you went to the Futures at Anaheim and it didn't go that well, and then you turned pro the next week. Was that a big discussion, a big talk with your parents, with Star and everybody? Was that always the plan, or were you just like, hey, I feel good? You ride with the Star guys during the week. They can all see your speed. Or was that on the fence to even go pro the next week?
Yeah, it was actually pretty wild. Like the week before A1, there was I was feeling good, and they were like, maybe we should just let you race A1. And I was like, that's a little too quick, because I don't want racing A1. That would be, that's pretty gnarly. And I don't want to come out there like, oh, it's this cocky kid that thinks he could come run A1 with all of us. Like A1's obviously a fast batch of dudes. So, yeah, but I mean, the goal was for me to race Supercross, and I mean, the team they were up in the air with it. They would tell me, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to race East Coast? Like when I was training, and I wanted to do bad. So it kind of pushed me until we got to East Coast. And then we raced Futures, and it just didn't go well for me. It wasn't a great race. I just made some small mistakes on my part. But after that, yeah, it was kind of like, I don't think we're going to do it. I don't think it's like a good choice. The team was thinking that.
Yep.
But me and my dad were like, I mean, shoot, like we might as well. It's good to go out there and start learning. Like it doesn't really matter where I feel like I finish. But yeah, it's just, I mean, a last-minute decision. You're like, all right, yeah, we'll let you go race. So,
wow.
I mean, after Houston, it was felt pretty good.
Yeah, really, right? I mean, that was just it's impressive so far, the start. And I guess if you and your dad and your mom and everybody, it's like you're riding with these guys during the week, Thrasher and Christian Craig last year, and all these guys you're riding during the week. Like, what else could you really learn? I guess, right? Is that kind of what you and your parents were thinking? Like, what would you learn from another year in amateurs?
Yeah, that's honestly almost pretty much exactly what we were thinking. That's the exact thing was like, if we just keep doing amateurs, it's going to hold me back,
Yeah.
Like it just isn't, like it wasn't the greatest decision for us. So we're like, I mean, we hop in Supercross, you're going to start riding with the fastest guys on 250s in Supercross, and you're going to continue to get faster each week. Like, if you're riding with faster guys, that's just what's going to happen. You're going to end up adapting to their speed, learning from them, and getting faster. So we're like, yeah, it's probably time to go race.
Yeah, what's the coolest part about being pro so far for you? Like, what's just the maybe the paychecks, but like, what's the coolest part?
Yeah, money's always cool, but
the chicks.
The chicks.
Oh. I talked to him a little bit at Dallas about it, but he's not into the chicks.
Dude, he doesn't need the chicks right now.
Dude, I'm sure like his phone's just getting blown up.
Yeah,
like,
but A-Rates.
Dude, in the DMs, it's just like.
Yeah, try to keep it limited, but
I try for as long as you can. I mean, as men, I feel like we're weak in that department sometimes. So just stay strong, man.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You got a lot of time. Your dad can tell you all about it. You know what I mean? He lived it for a while as well. So yeah, just focus on the racing. But yeah, it's got to be cool. You have a huge following, of course. You've grown up in the spotlight, right? Everybody. You've had you've had cameras in your faces for a long time. People have watched you, cheered for your dad Brian and his brand. Does that get tiring? Does that get I don't know, pressure? Do you feel pressure from that stuff, Haiden, or are you just so used to it? Like, to me, and I talked to your dad a month or so, 2 months ago. We were off air. We had a conversation about vlogs and everything else, and I was just telling Brian, I wouldn't want that. That's a lot of pressure. And he's like, hey, we're trying to, expose our family life and expose motocross to people. And I understood his point. We agreed to disagree. What's that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, the cameras, we've always just had it. We've had the YouTube channel.
Yep.
And it's always, been a thing through amateurs. And it never really affected me. And honestly, now I see it like growing. This huge social media has paid off, because in the race, I mean, you're racing and you're going along the grandstands and the whole crowd is yelling. And, you're in the middle of the race. Like, you didn't do anything special, but the crowd is yelling. And it's motivating you, You're like, the crowd is going wild. I'm like, it's motivating you. So you kind of see that, and you're like, you're out here sending it for the fans and stuff, and you're just giving them what they want.
It's true, man. You have a huge following already. It's
Dude,
nuts.
In the pits, it's nuts, man. I was around the Star Truck, and like he comes out of the semi, and it just erupts, dude. Like in the pits. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I went to go talk to Jelly, Tomax mechanic, and I went to the 250 truck first. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Like, I gotta go away. Like these, yeah.
So since you turned pro, what is the gnarliest fan experience that you've had?
I've had some ones that probably like shouldn't talk about, and then some like
what? It's just some old lady just showing you her tits or something?
No, yeah, I've had some wild ones, and then I've just had like crazy fans that are just like die hard, where they're just go crazy. Yeah. I've had like where people start crying. Like, it's cool to see how much the YouTube channel and my racing and all the hard work we put into all of this is like what it means to these fans.
Yeah, yeah. You know what though? What I was saying about you on one of my shows is like, I don't watch it. I get it. You have a huge following, but dude, you are also putting in the work. It is impressive how good a shape you're in. You use up a lot of energy on the bike. And
he doesn't get tired.
And you don't get tired. Doesn't look like you get tired. You're putting in the work off the bike, and to me, that's impressive. Like, because you come from a privileged background, and you have speed, you have skill, you have style, all of that. But behind the scenes, you're grinding, dude, and I like that. I think that's impressive.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, it is a lot of work, to be at this top step. It definitely is not anywhere near easy. So. Yeah, and I'm not even to the top step yet, There's more work to be done. So it's a lot of work, and I think, a lot of people don't realize that. They, like, shoot towards ways to make excuses why I'm up here when they just, like, really don't like to pay attention to how much, like, work we all put in behind the scenes, and it is a lot of work.
Yeah, you don't track down J-Mart and track down these dudes late in races. Without,
I seen because I'm a fan, right? I watch his vlogs all the time during my morning warm-up, before I go to the track. Right. So I usually watch his videos, and I think one of his videos, you might have been saying that, to expedite the process a little bit, you've been doing a little bit extra, whether it be off the bike, on the bike. Can you go through a little bit of that?
Yeah, even after training, though, you're pretty worked, but you just got to have that mindset that, you want to be a little better than everyone, and that's kind of been my goal to, be there. So I've always just done a little, like, maybe a little extra riding. I mean, a lot of the guys at the farm, we're always doing extra riding. We're always trying to get better. But off the bike too, you just do that little bit of extra training that I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to build myself to be motivated to do that type of stuff, to be better. So, just some little extra stuff that I try to work on.
Yeah, Haiden, Kevin from Wiseco here. I got a couple questions for you, actually. The first part being your corner speed is noticeably one of your strong suits. There's some videos from some of the different races. It's pretty incredible. So is that something you've worked on and really targeted over the years, or is that kind of a natural to you?
Yeah, definitely. My corner speed has just kind of came around, if I'm being honest, this past maybe 5 months. It really just kind of clicked for me. It was a problem for me on Supercross. I wouldn't just like lay into the turns. I wouldn't use the turns with intensity. I would just ride them. I would just like ride the track, and I was lacking that corner speed. And it did really, I feel like my clicking time was at Minios when the track was super gnarly, that one moto, and I was sending it super hard, and the ruts were like massive. And that's kind of like where I learned to like just lay it in. And it's kind of weird to think that I just now got that click, like where I can just lay into a turn like that, because I've been racing for a while, but it's just really recently where I've gotten that confidence and that skill kind of to lay into turns like that.
Renegade Racing Fuel is bringing you Haiden Deegan on the PulpMX Show.
Yeah, and so the second part, I noticed a couple of the interviews you mentioned how awesome the crowd was in the main event, how you could hear them, air horns and everything every lap you came around. Is that something that you hear and it pumps you up and you want to keep charging, or is that something that's almost maybe pulls a little bit of focus or possibly distracting?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, the crowd going wild, honestly, it doesn't distract me. It just motivates me. Seriously, like when we're racing, we're focused. We know how to focus on the track, and the crowd is just a little extra, like lights the fire a little more under you to send it a little harder. So, I mean, I enjoy the air horns and crowd. That gets me fired up, and that's why I love the fans so much.
Awesome.
All right, let's get to some phone calls. Of course, every 6 lines are full of people wanting to talk to Haiden Deegan. So let's get to these people. Sean, welcome to the show. What's your question for Haiden?
Just curious what his favorite Supercross feature on a track is, and what obstacles he wishes were more on Supercross tracks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd say my favorite part is the Supercross triple. I like the double so I can throw whips. That's my favorite part. And then I'd say if we could limit like the whoop section that has 16 whoops or 15 whoops, that's a little excessive for me. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But I'd say the big jumps is what I like so I can throw whips.
There you go. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
We know this question was coming. You just know this is coming. Trevor, what's your question for Haiden Deegan?
Hey, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Haiden, what's the likelihood that you're ghost riding the bike on your first win?
Yeah, I mean, the ghost ride, it's something that's kind of, has to happen. Like, the fans and everyone kind of is like, you got to ghost ride the bike, if you win. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a thing. If I'm leading, I'm going to make that, I'm going to make that decision right before I hit the finish. But I got to play it out right, too, because I don't want to get in trouble by the AMA if I'm, go for a win and I get it taken from me like my dad did. So I'm going to have to play it out right. But, the ghost ride would be sick.
Well, your dad still got the win. He just got fined, I think, $20,000. So it was $10,000 or $20,000.
Dude, I'd be so scared to freaking ghost ride my bike off the finish. Because I would do it too late, and I would fly off the face and land in the hole and just cartwheel.
Thanks for the call, Trevor. Thank you. I was there that night, and I thought he ate shit. I was like, oh my God, he crashed! Like, you're not really watching the corner of your eye, and you just see the bike go, and you're just like, oh my God. So it was.
Yeah, it's a lot gnarlier than you think now because the finish line is so massive. It's literally the width of wall jump now. Where my dad raced, and I think he said there was like a little dirt in the middle of it, so he didn't fly as far.
No,
if
pretty
I
much.
fly off the bike, I'm going far. I'm landing 10 feet down.
But the good news is your dad got $20,000 or $10,000, whatever it was. The money now you're making, Haiden, that's not a big deal. Let's hope the fine stays the same. Back then, your dad was a privateer; he had no money, but you know what I mean. It's not so much for you nowadays. Is there? I know Christian was close with you, and Christian's been telling me to get you on this show for a couple of years. He's been a big proponent of you, and obviously he's not there anymore. But is there a guy at Star that really helps you, takes you under your wing, or you can call and say, hey man, what about this? Or is there a guy at Star that you kind of bond with a little bit, a rider or somebody?
Yeah. Now, I mean, we're all like we're teammates. We all get along like good. But I'd say, I mean, Christian was like when we bonded good. Like I stayed with him when he was down on the team, and that was kind of like my boy. You know, that's when we would go ride afterwards. We'd just hang out. So I'd say the one that really had me under his wing was Christian the most, and that's kind of just after he left. It was now it's just back to on my own kind of.
Well, Christian was on the show last week, and you know he took Sexton under his wing at one point too, and now Sexton's faster than him. He's like, God damn it! So now he took you under his wing, and if you start beating him in the 450 class, he's going to be a wreck. Yeah. So, all right, we got Nick on 4. Nick, what's up? What's your question for Haiden Deegan?
Hey, I had a question, a silly one, but I've been down with the Deegans for 20 years. Can I tell you a fan story with them?
All right.
Okay, new school. It's me, pit bike race, Lake Elsinore. Hey, I've seen Haiden all day because our races synced up and everything. Seen him all day. He's a cool kid. It was awesome. That's why he's got the fans. I'm 57 years old, and I'm down with Haiden Deegan. You know what I'm saying? And we together all day. Hey, on the team race, he tried telling me that bike was stock. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I already know, bro. Every race that says stock, you better have some motor work done. Okay? I'm just trying to get this out of the way real quick. But anyway, new school. Do you remember who I am?
How long is this story, Nick? Just checking.
I'm sorry, dude.
You're fine. I got to know because I can take a break or go to commercial. You can still tell your story.
Okay, I'll talk to you in Glendale. How's that? I'll just end it. Do you have a pre-race ritual that you do? Or like
a heat race ritual?
Pre-race ritual. Pre-race ritual.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah, go on my motorhome and tell myself we're going to send it this race.
Hell yeah. I like that.
Hey, Ray.
I love that. Hey, I tell myself the same stuff too. Yeah. Mine was always it's like, fuck it, what's the worst that could happen?
Okay.
I crash.
Right. Yeah.
Big deal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot that could happen, but that's
yeah, true.
If you got nothing to lose, then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a privateer. He's got to get in the main event. He's getting married, Haiden, so he needs the money.
Yeah.
You know, all of that.
The whole deal.
Women,
dude, they weaken the knees.
We have a question about if you're racing outdoors, and yes, he's racing outdoors. That's it. We are leaving the amateur stuff behind at this point. So, what is there a race you're looking forward to, Haiden? Coming out? Is there like a one that stands out for you coming up?
Supercross wise, now I mean these speedways, I love them. I'm
Speedway guy. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Atlanta?
Yep. Atlanta's a speedway. Yeah.
I don't even know all these races. There's a lot of them. So yeah, Atlanta. I'm excited for that. I like the speedway track. Like it's almost like an opened out Supercross, and I like that.
Okay.
Hey, so quick question about your bike. How was it transitioning to being a pro and having to deal with like the testing and all that? Did you already have like a base setting that they gave you? I noticed that your bike, it looks very well balanced. You know, sometimes guys like a lower rear end, stiff fork, but yours seems to be like very, very balanced, and it looks like it's working really well for you. I was just curious if that was something that the team came up with, or that it was sort of both of you guys.
Yeah, I mean the whole team's really good. They know what they're doing. They've won championships, and that's why we chose to go to STAR. They're really smart with bike work. They know how to, and that stuff. It's a lot of it is my preference. I get to do a lot of choice on how I want my bike, but again, these guys know what they're doing. So I mean, the setup is just we all kind of agree on something, and it's always pretty good.
Have you worn different gear color than your teammates at every round?
Oh no. Shoot. I mean, ran it the first 2 rounds, and then the 3rd round I ran it again.
Okay, so is there any kind of superstition for that or something? Because someone's like, hey, doesn't wear the same gear as Nate, and I'm like, I don't know, I haven't really noticed. But is there any reason for that, or no?
Oh no, I just like that. I like the stretchy gear.
Okay, yeah, so it's just a particular line. Got it, right. So
that's just a different line. Riders, like some of the riders prefer that gear that Nate and Levi were wearing, or Nate, and Smitty, and I gel with the bike better with that gear.
Okay.
So how is the how has the vibe been at Star with you transitioning into pro and maybe doing a little bit better than your teammates? I know they've had some rough luck here lately, and you've been riding phenomenal. Is it like, are they like, I don't know, is it weird? Have they been kind of standoffish, or have everybody been getting along pretty well at the goat farm?
No, yeah, everyone's super cool. We all work together, and I got a great trainer, Swanee. He's always there for all of us, all of our riders to help us. So we all get along good. It's just, we all work hard. We all want to be winning, and we all want to be on the podium. So we're all trying to push towards that, and stuff happens. So, but every weekend we have another chance.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Renegade Racing Fuels bringing you Haiden Deegan on the show. Last question here from Scott. Scott, what's your question for Haiden Deegan?
Steve, District 23, how's it going?
Good, what's up?
Hey, my question is for Haiden. So Huxon, I know he races in that. Do you see potential in him? Is he going to end up where you're at? Does he have that speed? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you never know. He's quite the fisher right now. He loves going out and fishing. That's his thing. So, who knows? Maybe something will click in him where he's like, I want to go race. Maybe him coming to these races and seeing, like, me getting on the podium or me, working hard towards this stuff. He might, be like, oh, I want to go do that. I want to race. But as of now, he's just, a young kid having fun, living life. So maybe it'll click for him where he wants to go race. But I would definitely, it'd be cool to have my brother racing with me. So maybe I can get him to maybe push towards that.
There you go. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for the call, man.
Thank you, Mar. Have a good night.
Thanks. Hayden, was there a pro you looked up to when you were a kid? Like, obviously your dad, but, it was a little bit before your time, and it's your dad, so he's never that cool. But was there a pro that you looked up to when you were a kid? I mean, you're still a kid, but
yeah.
Younger?
I mean, the big one was Ryan Dungey. I had his jersey hung up in my room. Like, Ryan was my favorite. Like, I would always watch him. He was just always so consistent, smooth, and I just liked the way he rode. And I know, that was one of my favorites. And then, Tomac, it's a lot of people's favorites. I always love watching Tomac. And, even now, even watching the 250 class last year, I was a big fan of, like, even the guys I'm racing. So it's cool to go race against these guys.
Yeah, you're like, hey, there's J-Mart. He won 2 national championships. Now he's my teammate.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, right. Like last year. I think you remind me, A-Ray, this is even before your time, but to me, Haiden reminds me of a young Barsha. Not as out of control, doesn't rev the bike as much, but Barsha flinging it around, revving it up, railing corners. I see a lot of Barsha in Haiden. I really do. So that's to me. But
yeah, he's got a lot of intensity, has a lot of energy.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah. I can
he even put J-Mart on the ground this weekend.
Dude, J-Mart, yeah.
That was not on purpose.
I'm sure that you're like, oh shit, sorry, Jeremy, sorry, my bad.
I felt him like falling over the back of my back. I was like, I wanted that turn more than
hey man, thanks for calling in. Great start to your career, super impressive. I know you're a real busy kid, and I appreciate the time for the show tonight, man. Keep it up. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you guys. See ya.
Thanks. See ya. That's Haiden Deegan, everybody. Brought to you by Renegade Racing Fuels. He's great interview.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah. He's sticking to the plan too. It's do the laps.